Hey, Dave here. Just wanted to drop a bonus episode for you, like I talked about last time. And first, I just want to say thank you so very much to all of you who've listened, who've downloaded this podcast. I've been watching the numbers just tick upwards on each episode, and it's just so humbling that you would take your time, your most precious commodity, and use it to listen to these silly stories that I put out. Nevertheless, thank you. I really hope you've enjoyed what you've been hearing. And so, without any further ado, this is the final chapter of my short story, Grizzly, and we'll be back next week with a brand new story, new episodes. Thanks so much again, and God bless. Chapter 4. Being reunited with my family is an indescribable feeling, especially after thinking they were dead for months. I must have held them cumulatively for an entire week on that first day. It turned out they'd gotten lost on their way to the car, just as I feared. Sarah snagged a piece of her shirt on a branch, and Jordan sliced his knee open when he slipped on a sharp rock, hence the pool of blood in the trail. They were able to cross the river and eventually found a road. Apparently, crossing the river stymied his bleeding to the point that he left no trail. They flagged down a truck driver who took them to a police station. From there, they launched several ground and aerial searches, each of which I avoided. I still have no idea how long I was unconscious on the riverbank for, but it couldn't have been more than 2 days. The searches began the day after I was reported missing. The Rangers didn't believe my wife that I'd been chased by a grizzly, since they were supposedly extinct in the area, and since no one in my family actually saw the bear, the Rangers decided it was more likely an irate black bear, maybe a mama bear defending her cubs. But when they didn't find me, they determined I had probably drowned, especially after finding my blood splattered on the riverbank without a trail leading away. I was declared legally dead after 2 weeks, but my wife and kids refused to give up hope. The Rangers received a tip that someone had seen a grizzly in the area a couple days before they found me. So when they happened upon me, they were really looking for the bear that they thought didn't even exist. They expected to find an abnormally large black bear. As for how the grizzly got into the woods, it turned out a group of environmental lobbyists were responsible. Among other issues on their agenda, they'd been pushing for the reintroduction of grizzlies into California, either through cloning, genetic engineering, or a method called backbreeding. They'd failed to get legislation passed that would authorize any of it. So they bear-napped a grizzly from Montana and released it into the forest a few miles from where I encountered it. I guess they figured it was better to ask forgiveness than permission. The leader of their outfit said they'd considered tagging a bear and tracking its movement, but then decided tagging was inhumane. According to him, grizzlies attacking humans wasn't inhumane at all because we are on their turf. Since when do animals own property? And if they could, what makes that region more its turf than mine? Not surprisingly, their website was filled with all kinds of rhetoric denouncing humans as the scourge of the earth. Recently, their offices were raided, and a bunch of them were arrested. They're currently being held without bond for multiple charges, including kidnapping the bear, unlawfully tranquilizing it with their own cocktail, transporting it across state lines, endangering local wildlife, endangering the human population, and, big shock, multiple drug charges. The feds seized all kinds of coke, meth, and other illegal stuff they've been selling to fund their operation. I doubt any of them will be getting out of prison before the turn of the next millennium. As for the bear, the Fish and Wildlife Department was able to save it. They transported it to their hospital via helicopter, then gave it an emergency blood transfusion. Once he's healthy enough, they'll be taking him back to his home in Montana. They think it'll be about another month or so. I returned to my life. It has taken some serious adjustment, but things are back to normal for the most part. The public at large has been very understanding and supportive, except for a few wackos that still send us threatening emails and letters. I should have let the bear kill me and my family, according to them. The nerve of some people. Oh well. I bet they'll really get a kick out of it when I take my family to Montana to witness the grizzly being placed back in its natural habitat. But enough about them. I'm just glad to be back with the most important people in the world. My son, my daughter, and my wife. I never realized how much I missed Sarah's generosity, Jordan's talents, or my sweet little Lacey's penchant for changing the subject. One thing's for sure, if we ever go camping again, we're staying in a cabin. Or maybe a hotel. In fact, does Disneyland count as a camping trip? I mean, it's got mountains and trees. So, it does in my book. I hope you enjoyed the story. Well, as I record this, it's Independence Day weekend here in the United States. I know I have a few international listeners, so if you're in the States, I just want to wish you and yours a very safe and happy Independence Day. And I will be back next week with a brand new series. It's called Captured. It's about, well, you'll just have to listen and find out, I suppose. Anyway, thanks again for listening to By the Fire. God bless.